Nerds and geeks, it is about to go down. It is the Saturday nights of the legendary Nerd-o-Roundtable. What a TI is. Yours truly, King Nerdificent Twala Sharp in the building, joined by Thomas Talking Cunningham. How you doing, brother?
What is up? Not my anticipation for Blood and Honey.
I don't know. We're gonna have to definitely hear from Ryan Twitch Master McBain. How you feeling?
I want to buy some Timberlands.
Oh.
You know why nobody knows what that joke means? Because nobody saw Blood and Honey.
It's okay. We've got Anthony from 2 Cubicles Down.
How's it going, everybody?
And Dr. Liz from the Freeway.
Hi, everyone. I see Anthony's wearing a shirt that's appropriate for today, too.
Okay, whatever.
No, here we go.
Whatever.
Here we go.
Bo Kelly will be here soon enough. And for those who may not know what the Timberland joke means, don't be a dick. No, seriously. That's another inside joke if you haven't seen Quantumania. Look, Pooh, Blood and Honey. We originally first saw this trailer for this film and we said, is this a joke? And then we found out it was real. And the realer it became, the more serious it became for the one and only Ryan Twitch Master McBain, who was the only one who saw this film, I'm going to say this. This is a film that literally cost them, they had a budget of $100,000. I kid you not. The budget for this film was $100,000. They came in under budget. This film has made its money back and then some, which has officially fueled the Pooh, Blood and Honey universe. Okay, they actually have the funding now for a universe of horror related fun family films turn into nightmares. They've got Bambi coming, they've got Peter Pan coming, they've got every nightmare you can imagine. But Pooh, with Timberlands running through the 7-acre woods, murdering people. Ryan, what was it? Take us inside this masterpiece.
Or don't.
So here's the thing. Okay, so the movie started at 7 p.m. And when I say the movie started at 7 p.m., the actual movie started at 7 p.m. There were no trailers. There was no Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer. Nicole Kidman didn't come out. The movie just started. Bam. I'm like, so I'm sitting there going, okay, this is going to be worse than I imagined. Wow. It was very gruesome. I didn't know the movie was rated. Well, it was basically not rated. NR, not rated at all. So it was gruesome. Seeing Winnie the Pooh take a machete and put it through some girl's mouth was hilarious to me. All the murder scenes were funny because they were just gruesome as hell. Some shit I never seen before.
Was the quality good, or was it like it's noticeable this is a high school production of Winnie the Pooh?
Okay, wait, Anthony. Before you answer that, I need to correct Twala here. The movie had a budget of less than $50,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, Liz. Less than 50,000. Less than 50. Okay, so
$1 million.
No. It made $1 million domestic. Yes. It made 1 million domestic, 2 million worldwide.
Okay.
Off of a $50,000 movie.
This is basically the Blair Witch Project.
So they said that they will be making a sequel 5 times the budget.
Yep.
Yes. At the end of the movie, it says Winnie the Pooh will return, like it's a Marvel movie. And I just started laughing my ass off. That was funny.
Did Piglet do any killing?
Piglet? Okay, so let me get to that. You say, how was the quality, Anthony? Define quality.
Like, was it noticeable that they stopped off its like cinema secrets, picked up some fake blood, and
okay, it looked like it was like college-made film. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, like their masks, you could totally tell that it was rubber because every time they got hit, you knew that mask was rubber. Winnie the Pooh had Timberlands on, which I was in the theater laughing and trying not to cry because I was laughing so much. The only thing that really bothered me, well, a few things, but
Okay.
No, technically, it didn't bother you because there was no bother.
that too. There's a scene where this lovely
God.
lady is in the spa, and she had very nice breasts, very nice. But she's taking selfies, posing, typical cliche horror film nonsense. And then when she's looking through the her selfie, she sees that someone's in the background. So when you see a peeping Tom and you're by yourself, one would think you would get out of the spa and go find your friends. She gets out and yells out, "Yeah, I know you're out there. You're not going to ruin my fucking weekend, blah, blah, blah." She then gets back into the spa and just relaxes. I'm like, what? So you know what happens. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet come out and they chloroform her. Next scene, this is the best. Next scene, Piglet has a boot on her head and Winnie the Pooh's in the car. And Winnie the Pooh runs over her fucking head and her eyeball pops out. And they show the whole thing.
Wait, but I thought there's another person who gets killed in like a one of those little pools or whatever
Different
with
lady.
a sledgehammer. That's a different lady.
Different lady.
Same spa?
Same area.
Okay.
So there's some things are just like the horror film, like the story just didn't make sense. Like, sorry, if I know someone's watching me, I'm gonna get the fuck out of there. Not like go back into the spa and just relax. Made no sense to me. There's a scene where like a woman is chained up, and the ladies, the group finds the person chained up, and they do a jump cut, and somehow they get the chains off. But I'm like, what?
So basically, it's a Tubi film.
It's really, really bad.
Tubi does good.
They figure out that like, oh wait, I have a gun in the house. Oh, they're in the UK. I thought guns were illegal, but whatever. Maybe I'm missing out on something.
Well, it is a 1,000 Acre Wood. So
okay, whatever. So one of the ladies she gets the gun and she's going after Piglet, going, "Where are you, Piglet?" Which just sounds really, really weird, by the way. And she fires off a shot. I'm like, lady, who are you shooting at? Then Piglet comes out and she's like, "I got you now, Piglet." And she points the gun and she fires. But apparently there's only one bullet in the gun.
Oh,
who the fuck puts one bullet in a gun?
When you have a
Person playing
$50,000
Russian
budget.
So at the very everyone in the movie dies.
Bullets are expensive in the UK, so that's probably all they have.
Everyone in the movie,
$50,000 budget.
everyone in the movie dies
The
except
kill
for
count's
Christopher
still lower
Robin.
than Rust.
Except for
Wait,
Christopher Robin.
survived.
Okay, Anthony, I was specifically avoiding that joke, and you stepped right into it. Thankfully,
What was the joke? What did he say?
Nothing. He did not say anything.
Okay.
He said,
Anthony, give it to us. No,
No,
give it to us.
no,
Anthony.
he is not going to because he doesn't want to be sued.
That was a one and done.
So Ryan, here's my question. In the Poohniverse, are these actually supposed to be the bear, or are they a serial killer dressed up like Pooh?
No, it's actually the animals. It's supposed to be the actual. It's actually really Winnie the Pooh.
So
And
Winnie the Pooh
Piglet
exists.
has those tusks.
It has the tusks. Another thing that I found hilarious. Okay, like this movie went on way too long. So there's a scene where like the lady's running down the street. "Oh, Winnie the Pooh's trying to kill me." Blah 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 blah. And she runs into a group of dudes, and like they try to help her. So they all surround Winnie the Pooh, and they surround him for 5-10 minutes. You remember the best way I can describe this is
5-10 minutes.
Let me explain it. So you know the scene in the Batman where the Batman's rubbing up his fucking car for 5 minutes. They're just circling him for that long. I'm like, dude, are you gonna hit him or not? So they start beating the hell out of him, and Winnie the Pooh's taking them blows like he was the fucking Undertaker. Just no effect whatsoever. One guy has a bottle, breaks it over his head, which looks really funny because the mask is rubber. So Winnie the Pooh takes it, and then all of a sudden they do this camera angle where it looks like Winnie the Pooh grows 10 feet tall, raises his fucking hand, smacks the shit out of the dude, half his face gone.
Okay,
Right.
wait. If everybody dies, but if everybody dies,
Except
what's
for
the
Christopher
sequel?
Robin. So the last scene, Christopher Robin's like, "Oh, don't kill her, Pooh. I'm sorry I left. I'm sorry, don't kill her." So I'm waiting for okay, he's gonna say the line. He's gonna say, "Oh, bother." He doesn't say, "Oh, bother." He goes like, "Oh, you left," and he slashes her throat. Christopher Robin runs off, and Winnie the Pooh chases after him. That's the end of the fucking movie. And then it says, "Winnie the Pooh will return." I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Wait a minute. So this is like a bad college film.
Yes.
A project that they put it out there. They got some hype. They got some theaters to pick it up for a Wednesday only showing.
Wednesday
And they
at
went
7
from
p.m.
$50,000 rubber masks and Timberlands and bad CGI to a $2 million gross.
I just need to know, where did Winnie the Pooh get the Timberlands? Where did he get the Timberlands?
No, but
That's
wait a
what I want to
second.
know. It makes no sense.
So in the sequel, it's supposed to be Bambi. And
No, Bambi
and
is
Peter
an
Pan.
extension. Yeah, Bambi is an extension, but
No,
in
this
the
is their
sequel,
universe.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be it's another Pooh movie.
Oh, so
Yeah.
by the way, Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and somebody else, they
Eeyore?
actually eat. They eat Igor. They eat his ass.
They eat Eeyore?
They eat him.
No, I wanted to see. I'd love to see Eeyore. He's walking around
Eeyore.
and depressed as hell.
He got eaten.
Okay,
But does he
well,
have
I
the
know-
mask? Does he have the donkey mask? He's like a
So,
fat guy with a donkey mask.
They don't show it. It's like a cartoon montage of what's going on, like leading up to the
Oh,
movie.
no.
And they say like they all got hungry, so they basically said someone had to go, and Igor had to go.
So
Well,
is Tigger the one who eats him? Is Tigger there eating? So
Tigger's
where's
not in it.
Tigger?
I don't know.
Tigger is on cocaine
They're saving him for
in
the
this
sequel.
Pooniverse. Yeah,
Uh,
got to be. It's gonna
Yeah.
be Cocaine Tiger.
No,
For Tigger.
It was
Or
like,
he'll be a drug dealer like Scarface.
like I said, the movie is bad. They're like the scenarios, the writing, like certain things like that you would take for granted in any type of movie are not in this movie.
Okay, the
We
only
should
thing
make a
I want to
movie.
know is how are we going to get $50,000 together to make
Right?
$2 million, $2 million
make
gross
anything.
on something?
We have to.
We just pick some shit. I don't give a fuck. We just got to pick something that is crazy. I don't care if it's
Yes.
the Lorax, whatever. We got to find something in the public domain,
Said the Lorax.
bro.
We need to
I
Yo.
see
got a
what
credit
patents are.
card.
We
We
need
can
to see
charge
what
up some
patents are
shit.
up. And
Mo
enjoy it.
Kelly is in the building. How you doing, brother?
Hungry.
We were just marveling at the fact that
So is
this
Winnie the
Winnie the
Pooh.
Pooh movie cost $50,000 to make, and they've already grossed in 3 days $2 million worldwide.
Well, it's brilliant, if only because they knew that it was going to fall into public domain,
Right.
and they planned for this years in advance to have the ability to get the rights to it and also get a script out, you get a movie made. It's all marketing.
Not much of a script, apparently.
Script was not
Right.
not much of a script.
We need to.
Yeah,
do-
I guess relying on the characters doing insane things is enough.
Dude.
I mean, wow.
People get killed. Winnie the Pooh shoves some girl in a wood chipper, and they show all that shit.
So wait a second. Does he
Wow.
only kill women? I mean, because you haven't mentioned
Yeah,
not one
basically.
dude he kills.
The whole cast is mainly women, and they all get got. They get got.
Okay, so James says that we should do Felix the cat. I can see that because Felix is not is looks creepy anyway.
And it's
Wait, what's
black and
wrong?
white, so you don't even
black and
have
white?
to pay for
What's-
color.
What's going with the cat and the little boy?
Cat and the little boy.
I don't know about cats and little boys. Right?
They're,
No.
oh, it's
That
shit.
sounds like an Ezra Miller movie.
Okay.
Ah, shit, Tom. Ah,
Boy.
damn it.
Oh, Metropolis. Metropolis enters the public domain.
Metropolis, they're
Batman
actually doing a
Enter the public
Metropolis
domain
movie.
soon.
Yeah,
Huh?
Metropolis is being made right now.
Isn't Batman also in the domain too? Pretty soon.
No,
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
What is it? 100 years? I think it has to be.
Yeah, something like
Metropolis is
that.
actually being made by what's his name? Who is the dude who's putting his own money into it too?
I don't know if I like Rocky. Rocky's idea is to take a horror movie and make it into a children's tale. I don't know if I like that idea. That doesn't seem as fun. But I like the other version.
We got some Franz Kafka. We have to figure out something.
We got to figure out something. I'm not
about the
100%
Smurfs?
mad at
Some H.P. Lovecraft.
yeah.
I'm
Metropolis
digging
is
it.
coming to Apple Plus, so Les will
Of
be able
course it
to be able to let us know what that's like
Yes.
when it eventually hits. But yeah, it's a series coming to Apple TV Plus. Speaking of Ezra
My
Miller,
Little
what were y'all
Pony.
thoughts on the trailer for The Flash?
I'm mad I liked it.
Unfortunately, I liked it. Unfortunately, so.
I will just say that it seems like they're leaning into the gimmick, and it's like, okay, so it's Michael Keaton. 10 seconds, 11 seconds. I'm Batman. It's like, okay.
That's
and
all I
then
wanted.
don't jump.
That's
And
what,
then he's
dude.
flying.
Great.
And then there's Zod. And then instead of skinny Superman, you've got, Page Boy cut Supergirl. There's no Aquaman and Wonder Woman War. It's like they're, again, the animated movie got all of that in what I perceive is probably going to be a shorter runtime. And yet we've got a lot of shots of 2 Ezra Millers. I'm not. And James Wright asked, do we think we saw all the best parts of the Flash movie in the preview? Probably.
Probably. I mean, for me, the issue with the trailer, and I think the thing that I guess bothered me the most is nothing in the trailer gave me the feeling that it was actually the film that James Gunn and crew is saying it is, that changes everything and reboots. Because to me, all it looks like is they're mixing up and jumbling things that happened from the Snyderverse, but every character that we've seen in this film thus far is included,
right?
So
I don't understand why Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot could not be in this movie, or even Ray Fisher. What?
Or Momoa. If you wanted to do Flashpoint, you wanted to do it right, and you already have all the access to these characters, and you wanted to flip it on its head. If they would have brought the animated movie to theaters, I would agree that it has the potential to be the greatest movie ever done. If they would have done that, especially because they already have the characters, it's not a hard thing to do.
No,
everyone loves the animated film.
Here's the thing: in this movie, if Zod doesn't say kneel before Zod, fuck this movie. You better fucking say it.
All I know is that as far as a reboot is concerned, we know that Zod is not going to be in the James Gunniverse.
Nope.
And so we know Michael Keaton isn't going to be in the James Gunniverse. So basically all we're saying is that maybe the Supergirl is going to make it through. That's about all that we could say.
I don't think so.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. So how is it a fucking reboot? If it's a reboot, that means you're putting in characters who are going to hold the mantle going forward.
Right.
And right now, all I've seen is people that I know aren't going to be doing that. So it's more bullshit ladled on top of bullshit.
I think they filmed. Right. So I think there's going to be a surprise at the end.
Yeah, a surprise at the end, but it's not the fullness of the movie. I'm quite sure there will be a James Gunn character reveal, story arc reveal throughout somewhere in that movie. But most of that movie is probably Snyderverse, and you'll get like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, where you get the Illuminati, which means absolutely nothing because we know Zod and company are not going to be the future going forward.
Nope.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Yeah.
They're just not.
That is the whackness of it. I'm intentionally pushing Quantumania back because we also didn't get to talk about The Last of Us. That last episode was fire.
Yeah.
That last episode was absolute fire.
The Bloated? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
No. Was it the Bloated?
Bloaters.
The bloaters. Yeah, that giant thing. Look,
yeah, we only saw one though.
We now know they exist.
In the game, you only get one because they wreak havoc in the game.
Oh, they wrecked some havoc in this.
They do that shit in the game. They got that right. When I saw it pop out, because I knew because they kind of hinted towards it in the beginning of the episode. But when I saw them come out, I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers better run. you don't want that smoke.
Yeah, that was. I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, I will say that by the time episode 5 came around, it seemed like there was a really strong shift in the series because episode 3, we didn't have any infected. It was a very quiet, contemplative kind of love tale sort of thing. Episode 2, more human drama. We see this expanded character of Kathleen, who apparently, and Ryan, you can answer this, really isn't in the game.
At all. She's not in the game at all.
So, and they're in a town. It's supposed to be Pittsburgh in the game, but it's Kansas City in the show. And again, more human drama. And I was like, okay, I get it. You know, that's what the point of this whole thing is. The zombies are the zombies, and so the human story is what you're going to get. And then, but there was 2 episodes back to back where there weren't any infected really at all. And then we get into episode 5. And we see that Henry at the end of episode 4 is a black guy. And then there's a little kid. You don't really know he's deaf. And shout out to the actor who is actually deaf. The boy is actually deaf, which was, I thought, phenomenal because he does a great job. And then all of a sudden, 50 minutes into this motherfucker, you got infected Palooza up in this bitch. And I was like, oh shit. And it was exactly the way I wanted it to play out, with all the right people, you know, getting their just desserts, except for, of course, Lil Sam, which fucking sucked. And
I'd see, but I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. That I texted people were on my timeline talking about, man, The Last of Us. I said, look, the rule is if they weren't in episode 1, don't get attached.
Yes.
Well,
ain't no point.
That's just an episode 1, so.
No, I understand, but I'm saying if they aren't in episode 1, you damn sure know they ain't gonna make it. So
I almost count on everyone that they introduced to at one point or another die.
Right. I mean,
I was watching this episode like I was Kang the Conqueror, going like, "Yo, yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen." I felt very, very sorry for Henry and Sam. Their death was very, very tragic. In the video game, Sam is not deaf. Skipping to the end of the episode. Also, I want to add, I don't know what Henry did. They said Henry was just like a snitch, but he had to have tapped Kathleen because she was after his ass, like sent the whole full force. There was some love involved or something, because like, why are you chasing this? It's 2 people. You guys have won. Like, let them leave. But she wanted his ass, like, bad.
Well, she said
Henry dimed out her brother.
Yeah.
And killed.
And
I mean,
the
not
brother got
just
killed
that he
as a
was the
result.
leader of the resistance, but that was also her brother. That whole scene when she was in the house, like, my brother, he told me, don't be afraid. And then
And look what that
killed.
got him.
And he was like, so trust and believe. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, let them go. It's over. Just let them just get up out of here. But no, they're going to die.
I'm glad she died the way she did, because it was very, very,
did.
it was irony. You're saying, like, kids die every day. Well, guess who killed your ass?
Right.
Yeah.
Child.
Yeah. Her character was ill.
Yeah.
Very ill.
The major difference between Henry and Sam dying in the video game, you don't, like, the characters don't know that Sam's been bitten. Ellie doesn't try and cure him with her blood, which is, I thought, like, you're very naive, Ellie. You're not Jesus Christ. Calm down. How in the game, Ellie goes to wake up Sam, and then she gets attacked. Joel and Henry are like, oh shit. Joel reaches for his gun. Sam fires at Joel, going, hey, that's my fucking brother, like in the show. Then when Joel goes for his gun again, Henry fires off a shot, and you find out he kills his brother. Now, here's the major difference. In the game, Joel's like, Henry, I'm going to walk very slowly and get that gun from you, because you know Henry, he knows that Henry's like he's lost his mind because he just killed his brother. Then Henry goes like, man, you better get the fuck up off me. He raises his gun at him, and Joel's like, oh, okay, backs away. Henry goes, "What? This is all your fault. This is all your fault. What did you do? What did you do?" And Joel's saying like, dude, it's nobody's fault. Then Henry blows his brains out. Now, playing the game, you realize that Henry's not talking to Joel. He's talking to himself. Like, dude, it's all your fault. It is so dark. I posted the video in our group chat. It is sad. It is like in the game, when that happens, it's like almost halfway through the game. It is by far the most depressing death in both games. It is so sad because you don't see it coming. I'm playing the game like, oh, cool, man, I got a crew now. Nope. Sure don't.
Wow. So in the game, the characters you pick up, they can ride with you. They ride with you for a little bit until their part in the story in the game ends.
Or a little bit. They bond. It's cool. They're telling jokes. They're a little different in the game. Sam's a little bit older. He has a crush on Ellie in the game, which, by the way, Sam, you're wasting your time because Ellie is a lesbian. But and also Henry's a little taller, but nothing really major. But you basically think like, okay, man, we got a group together, and no, man, it's sad. It's really sad. I suggest watching that video I sent in group chat because you'll be like, fuck. That's
I
fucked
did.
up.
No, I did watch it, and I thought he was talking to
Joel.
What's his name? To
Yeah,
Joe.
but
I thought he was talking to Joe, but when you
talking to
say that he was
himself,
talking to himself, I'm like, oh, that just messed my head up. Because
That's why he shot himself.
I think it's
No.
clearer in the show that he's referring to himself. In the
He doesn't
game, the way it's scripted, it does seem like he's
But
talking to Joel.
Yeah, in the show, he just fucking blows his brains out. He doesn't really talk. I'm like, dude, why'd you leave that out? You're following like the script word for word during the show. I mean, just a nitpick. I did like the fact that she took like the Etcho sketch, whatever, and wrote "I'm sorry." That broke my fucking heart.
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
that was
to make me cry.
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
Yeah,
it was.
that was cold. That was cold. Look, I'm excited for it. Can't wait for it tomorrow. And I'll actually be able to watch tomorrow because there's no work on Monday, so I ain't got to worry about like, oh, fuck, I gotta go to bed. I'll catch
You're
it
lucky.
sometime next week. Yeah. So I will be watching that. I am happy to say that we have all watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I can let you know off the top, I liked it. Ryan liked it. Mo did not. Liz did not.
That's true.
Anthony,
I liked it. I didn't love it.
okay, all right,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, all right.
I'm
Mo.
the same way.
To
all
Anthony,
other-
where'd you come out?
It's all right.
It's all right. Tom, what were your thoughts?
Right.
Okay.
I liked it better the second time.
It ain't gonna win any award.
No.
That's for sure.
I don't know.
And
I mean,
I-
outside of Black Panther, no Marvel film has ever won any award. Black Panther for the
Not
first
even-
one.
Oh, special effects or something.
Nah, go back. I think
Really?
Black Panther was the first one to actually win
Black Panther was the first
an
one.
Oscar.
Yeah.
That was
Wow.
the first.
That's
That
true.
was the absolute. That's why the first Black Panther winning an award was such a
Aaron,
major
that's not
thing.
nice.
And the second one, the second one definitely
What'd I
did what it
miss?
was supposed to do. But yeah, no. Look, I did like it. I'm going to go see it again on Sunday. Mo, what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was enjoyable. I thought Jonathan Majors' performance was spectacular
Yes.
from a tonality sense, and that's big with me. It was uneven. I didn't think the actress who played Cassie Lang was good at all. I didn't like her in that role. Sorry. I would have rather have seen more from Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas. But it seemed like they're trying to build up Cassie because she's the future of at least the extension of the Ant-Man franchise. And I didn't feel that. I thought it was too silly. Yes, I know Ant-Man is comedic, but I make a distinction between comedic and silly. And everyone was trying to be funny at inappropriate times in the movie. The humor did not come naturally as an expression of the moment, like a one-off line or something. It was like they're trying to do these whole joke scenes of like, don't be a dick, Darren.
Oh,
the fuck are
God.
you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And
Well,
that whole
he
telegraph
didn't
scene
know
of
how not
MODOK
to be a dick.
and the
Well-
redemption of MODOK was transparent.
The reason why that scene didn't work so well because like Cassie just gave a good type, quote unquote, Captain America type speech, and then you're gonna go from that speech to like don't be a dick speech. I'm like, what?
But it's like, but Captain America fucks work.
I mean, hey.
So listen,
yeah.
I was the things I liked. I thought the visual landscape of the world they created for the quantum realm, I thought was intriguing. I thought that there were a lot of callbacks, not necessarily in a bad way where it made me think, oh, this is horrible for this, but it was definitely noticeable. There's a Star Wars cantina scene. There's a Star Wars we're in the desert with Sand People and Jawa scene.
The Force.
The production design of the Kang bots or whatever is very stormtroopery.
Bots.
There are definitely callbacks to, even to the extent of her putting her hood up as they enter Tatooine, it was like that. It was very Ben Kenobi. They even had a sand speeder thing that split in half to surround them. I mean, and they had this other sand speeder thing that was like the thing that Ryan's favorite character uh, from the Star Wars franchise,
Ray.
Ray.
Her
They had
speed.
That
Yeah.
character.
So
Jesus.
it was. There were a lot of beats, I thought, that played out that way. And Jonathan Majors, I thought, was amazing. I
He made
thought
the whole
again,
movie.
with the character design of putting those lines on his face as scars. I thought that was awesome. And I thought generally he was not Thanos level yet, but he did a very, very good job and an effective job at playing the villain. And I thought the ass kicking at the end between him and Scott, although he should have beaten Scott into a pulp in like 5 seconds,
Yeah.
I thought it was Rudd's best performance. As far as that fight scene in the third act, I thought that was the most impressive Ant-Man performance. And had he been locked in the quantum realm, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. He and Hope should have been trapped in the quantum realm. And then the fucking portal zaps behind their back. There's barely a noise, and they're like, let's go home. I guess they just figured
They got the
Cassie
force.
inexplicably was
Well,
going
they
to
got
be
a good
able-
hearing, Tom. They have good
I
hearing.
guess, but that was bullshit. It would have been so much better if there was a consequence.
There were no real
trapped
stakes.
because you saved Cassie. Cassie's the future, and she's there.
I don't know how you say there's no consequences when they
Well, we don't
showed
know.
you the consequences in the end of all the Kangs no longer, I guess, being afraid of the one Kang that they all had to fear and saying, hey, whoever this fucking Ant-Man is that actually stopped the Kang, we've got to go after it. We've got to fix this problem in the world. Of course, when they show you Ramatut and they show you Immortus tying back to Loki, that shit is a consequence. That's a major consequence.
Okay, but here's the thing. We don't have an exact timeline, but we are led to believe that Kang was exiled probably 20 years in the past.
20 years in the quantum realm, right? Remember, because they said that we have no idea how that time works.
But wait a minute. She said she was in there for 30 years and she came out looking old.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but
So
we don't
I'm
know
saying-
in the real world, yes.
Well, but even in the real world, because she went into the quantum realm in the 60s when she was fighting that guy. She shrunk too small. That's how she got trapped in the quantum realm. It wasn't a bad time thing. It was she literally left Earth, I guess the 70s, and was in the quantum realm for 30 Earth years and then was able to be brought back. And at some point after she got there, even if it was 5 years, whatever, Kang has been there for a while. And they had no idea that he was going to be able to escape. They were able to discover that he is, quote unquote, finally dead. And so they had their little meeting. And I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Scarlet Centurion, by the way.
So this is a different Kang than the Kang in Loki, right?
Oh yeah. That's He Who Remains.
He Who Remains was not Kang. He Who Remains was a Nathaniel Richards that wasn't Kang.
Yes, that was an entirely
It was
different
a variant, Kang variant.
And this Kang is not
Nice
dead. We got to be clear. Kang is not dead. He was sucked further into the quantum realm
Even
because he is the one
Quantumania.
that comes back in Kang Dynasty, and
Wreck
so
Shop.
in between then and now, you have Immortus, who is the blue-faced Kang that they show us in the end, who is Ravona's husband, who will be playing back in that. The end credit scene when they show Victor Timely, and now you've got Loki and Morbius chasing after him. Victor Timely, who did appear in the 1900s and was just amassing his wealth and building fucking an empire to come back and wreck shop in the future that he knew was going to happen. There's so much shit that is dropped in this film. And I know to Mo's point, Mo can't stand the continuous world building, but for me, I'm like, that shit is dope. They dropped some real hardcore.
I don't mind the world building
for me that I'm like,
because
when you say that this is the future, when you say that this is the dude who's going to be giving them fits for the next 2 years worth of films, ending in the Kang Dynasty and the Kang Wars going into fucking Secret Wars. I'm like, yes, this film was about him. This film was about Jonathan Majors and them saying, we're going to give you the big bad. We're going to show you how fucking dangerous this dude is. I
I
believe
don't want to
it.
speak for Mo, but I think that like world building is fine, but now we know who the big bad is. Finally, we see
Yes.
the path that they're setting. So
Yes.
I'm like, this is great.
Okay,
Yeah, which basically meant all of Phase 4 was bullshit.
right.
Basically,
Yeah, it was a waste of
basically.
time.
Look, world building is fine, but I still want to see a movie which I enjoy separate from the world building. You know, world building. Captain America: Winter Soldier was world building. It introduced a titular character,
Mhm.
a very important enemy. But the movie itself was fantastic, and the world building was an extra. I don't want to see a movie which is forever world building and is not good in and of itself in a vacuum. I don't think this movie was great in and of itself.
Yeah.
If you want to see like what it sets up in the future, yeah, I'm not. I need some here and now.
Well, it's the beginning of Phase 5, so you
Mo,
got to give it a little bit of leeway.
no, wait. See, the
Yes,
thing
yes,
that bothers, I'm with Mo on this one because the thing that bothers me about Marvel at the moment is that it is saying that the things that has made it successful over these past years is the thing that we are not willing to do and give you anymore. And we're going to tell you that we would like to give you something else and you're going to like it. And even though the audiences are like, yeah, we don't like Eternals. We're not really feeling, the Love and Thunder Thor.
Yeah.
We really aren't really liking too much your Doctor Strange that we've been waiting for. And this one is mediocre. And yet we're like, we're still going to keep giving you stuff that we're going to keep saying, hey, you just trust us. And it's like, no, but see, we like that other stuff. That other stuff that we've been watching and we've been excited for, and we've been going Thursday night and cramming for. And now, eventually, Marvel, like I went on Thursday night and I went on Friday, half the theater is filled. So you're not getting the same level of excitement when you keep telling us, just wait on it. Just wait, just hold
But
on.
you actually proved the point though, Liz, because you proved the point of what Marvel's doing because you saw it twice. You saw it one time,
Oh, I
and
saw
that
it
was
twice,
enough for
not
you to
because
see
I
it a
wanted
second
to.
time. It doesn't matter whether you thought it was okay. They got 2 okay screenings out of you.
But they
That's
won't
everyone in this country.
won't keep getting that.
Nope.
I know they're not going to keep getting that because
Mhm.
I went to Doctor Strange thinking it was going to be reminiscent of the previous phase. I went to Ant-Man and Quantumania thinking it was finally going to give us what I was hoping for, and it did not. And after a while, it's like, well, I'll just wait. I'll just wait because I need the movie to be great or very good in and of itself, not forever world building, seemingly to a world that we're not getting to. The Eternals was supposed to be world building. We have no fucking idea what that's supposed to connect to. That was a wasted
Nothing.
movie.
Miss
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah, okay, look, I'm not talking about
But I mean, honestly, we're now at a point where we're only physically willing to go see something that we know is a trusted entity in the MCU, which is now Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Black Panther are the only two that we have been consistently really good movies, and they keep getting better. The rest of it is not getting better.
Well, Spider-Man's done.
No.
No,
They
Well,
said it was
it's an
coming
not
from
done.
Spider-Man 4.
No. So, I mean, Kevin Feige, he
Yeah,
announced while
well,
he was on the
Spider-Man
press
4.
before this that Spider-Man
Yeah,
4 is
there's
well in
another
the work.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I guess I wish I understood how the other pieces are supposed to fall in place. We
Mhm.
didn't know when the MCU was starting. We didn't know that Thanos was the big bad.
Right.
That Thanos barely made an appearance. They were just introducing these characters and they were leading to Avengers. And Avengers is where we first understand that Thanos is at the heart of things. And you see that there are these Infinity Stone or whatever
Gems,
they are,
stones, yeah.
the stones that, because the Tesseract is there and we didn't quite know what the Tesseract was. It looked like a cosmic cube in Captain America, the first Avenger, but now we know it's actually an Infinity Stone. And we suspect that Loki's scepter, and it's confirmed later that that's the Mind Stone and blah, blah, blah. But you were just building stories. And then it turned into, okay, so Thanos is what we're leading to. So a lot of these movies are going to tie into the stones, and so Thor 2 tied into a stone, and Doctor Strange tied into a stone, and so that was all well and good until we got to Infinity War. And it all seemed to be going someplace, even though Ant-Man didn't do it. And, you know, there were other various movies that didn't really, Winter Soldier didn't have anything to do with stones, blah, blah, blah. But the ensuing things post Endgame, you really just didn't know there was a whole decompression phase of like, you know, this is just the aftermath. We're still dealing with Endgame, so let's divorce ourselves from Endgame and maybe turn a corner. Except that Eternals didn't do anything. Shang-Chi is at least appears to maybe sort of be tied into the Marvels in some way. And that's a character that, you know, I enjoyed that movie. To Mo's point, I enjoyed the movie. It introduced Tao Long or whatever the hell, but it wasn't world building as much as it was, okay, this is an enjoyable movie. And I know that Mo and Twala didn't like it as much as I did, but it was still enjoyable and can stand on its own. And you can watch it again and still feel something when the Mandarin gets his soul sucked out by that soul eater thing. I was just like, damn, that's not a good way to snatch your soul. And so the rest of the movies, by and large, you know, Black Widow was fine, but it didn't do anything to advance anything. You know, Eternals was trash. Love and Thunder wasn't great.
Trash.
So these films have not sparked the magic, and it almost feels like in Ant-Man, with the exception of Hank Pym and Janet, it felt kind of like they were phoning it in. It's like, oh, Scott's got to be a little goofy. Evangeline Lilly really didn't do that much. I didn't like, they turned Darren into a caricature.
Yeah.
And he was pretty badass as Yellow Jacket. And they turned him, I said in the chat, it was Patton Oswalt MODOK. And I loved Patton Oswalt. I loved it. But it shouldn't have been Darren Criss, although it makes sense because it was the quantum realm.
It makes sense. But I like how they made him the more like the Hulu MODOK instead of trying to make him into this actually deadly thing. Because I like the Hulu MODOK.
They should have shown his face once.
Yeah. Oh, it was way.
And that was
They
showed his ass.
They showed his ass.
His gooey naked ass. I think Ezra Miller
naked ass. That was
okay.
Unsettling.
Okay.
That was unsettling. Look, I didn't like seeing the face. Seeing the face once for the reveal was enough. You could have kept his ass in the mask after that because it was on IMAX. It didn't look. It was hard because it was really weird. But I liked who MODOK was. I loved every single thing that Kang did. I absolutely loved. I loved seeing his suit. Seeing it actualized, like seeing how it's like, because Kang has no inherent powers. He is someone who has amassed powers through his technology and suit, and seeing him use it, I was like, this is bad ass. Cassie Lang, if you've ever read the Young Avengers comic book, this actress, she was doing every single bit of Cassie Lang from the comic. She was spot on, even though I get you in saying that her character was annoying for who she was, and like if she would have read the comic book and said, okay, I got it, I know who the character is, I know how to be, that's how she is in the comic book. Very, very much like that.
She didn't bother me.
I thought Scott and Janet, I thought they were pretty much the exact same as they were in all the other films. Like, I don't know if you're gonna ever get anything different from Scott Lang in Civil War. That's who he was in both the Ant-Man films. That's who he was. You know, it's like they're like, he's the dude who even in Civil War, he had the inappropriate jokes at the wrong damn time.
Yeah, like even
that's who that character's always been. So seeing him do that now is like,
as many lines.
That's who he is.
Yeah, he kept on doing it over and over again in the movie. The only time he like Paul Rudd does this thing with the character where like he has this dumb look on his face and you're supposed to laugh. And the only time that he did that dumb look on his face and I laughed out loud is when the fucking Jello guy was like, you have 7 holes. And I was like, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I do have 7. That I had the same look on Scott Lang's face. It was like, dude, that was fucking funny. Because I had to count too.
Oh, a lot of people were counting.
Mm,
It was.
I'll
I
say
will
it.
tell you this. It was silent as fuck in my movie theater when
Yeah.
people were leaving, even after both of those reveals. I don't
Mine
know if
too.
I don't think Victor
Damn
Timely
silent.
really resonated with a lot of
No one
people.
knows who he is. Yeah.
Right.
Got you. Got
When
you.
I saw
Yeah.
Immortus and Rama Tut, and I was like, is that Scarlet Centurion? Even though he looks like Cyborg, I liked that. But it wasn't like cheers and gasps
Nope.
and
Nope.
when you had 700 Jonathan Majors on screen, nobody was like, "Oh, it's the Castle of Kane.
That's a
It's
lot of
Martin
nostrils.
Luther King."
A lot of nostrils.
Unfortunately, we've talked about this before, that they're trying to depend and integrate all of these different series into the films, which I think is fine. But unfortunately, there are many people who aren't watching it. Like they aren't watching Loki. And so for me, like there was no gas, just like you all, there was nothing. It was like, okay, and walking out, nobody's talking around. Yeah, there were 2 reveals, Miguel. There were just as people were walking out, no whispers, no nothing, no. It fell flat.
I don't know. My theater, Burbank 16, midnight show, which did not start till 12:30 after all of the damn trailers,
Told
a,
you.
a shit ton of trailers. Folks were hyped, especially when people saw Loki. They were like, "Yo, shit!" There was claps for Loki.
I popped for that.
I
You know,
saw
and
it at
it's
the
like
16 on
the who?
Thursday. I saw it at the 16 on Thursday,
Okay.
5 o'clock screening, and it was in one of the bigger theaters, not the IMAX or the Dolby one.
Yep.
But the number of people in my screening would not fill up 2 rows in that theater.
Ooh.
Wow.
It was empty. I had
What time did you see it?
5 o'clock on Thursday.
It's a lot of people at work on Thursday, Anthony. It's in summertime.
I mean, I'm just saying though, but like it was not packed at all. No issue. Could have walked right in and got an intake without a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it at 3 p.m. All I know is when I saw Spider-Man at 3 p.m., that shit was packed.
It was packed.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Spider-Man was the last one that was packed out like that, because it wasn't packed out like that for
It was packed like that for Wakanda.
Multiverse or for Wakanda Forever, surprisingly.
To Liz's point, yeah, a lot of people aren't watching these series because when Daredevil showed up in Spider-Man or Matt Murdock, a lot of people in my theater didn't know who the fuck he was.
Oh,
I popped.
Right.
My theater lost its shit.
Yeah, my theater was just like, there's a few applause, but most people didn't know who the hell he was. I was like, you fucking peasants, you casuals. That's fucking Daredevil.
All I know is that we need something of the old magic. I don't know if there's going to be a new character introduced in film that is going to be exciting, but everything I've seen so far, because Blade got pushed, and all this other stuff, everything is like a sequel or a continuation.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that magic is going to come from, where it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this is happening, that will really push you to go. I'm looking forward to Loki, because I liked Loki as a series. I like the fact that there's going to be some Kang world building. I think that's great. And maybe that's the connective tissue that will help really kind of gin up the excitement for Kang Dynasty or Secret, whatever. Is it Secret Wars first and then Kang Dynasty? Or
no, it's Kang Dynasty, then Secret Wars.
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars is the end.
Yeah, but I think that we need magic. I think, Jill, your point, I think we need magical films, not just one and then subpar or regular par films, and then a magic. It needs to be bump. We need more than just one off and Spider-Man's to save the day.
I think where the magic is happening, it's not happening in film right now. It's happening on their series. It's happening in She-Hulk. It's happening in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It's happening in their shows on Disney Plus. That's where they're getting all the talks with Ms. Marvel and all that. These movies just aren't doing what they used to do, but the attention is now being drawn to their series, where that's where the talking is going on now.
So James Wright has asked, what character would we like to see that we think would add to the Marvel universe? I will say I am not hating Guardians as much as I thought I would with Chris Pratt. It looks like this movie has a lot of heart. I'm super not a fan of Chris Pratt, the Adam Warlock, who apparently is not a good guy in this. He may be a good guy by the end, but he doesn't start off as a good guy. So I'm trying to think if there's, I mean, shit, it might be good. I wish there was some bigger scale to it, but I'm kind of with Ryan. I'd like to see Luke Cage in the MCU.
That goes without saying, but Luke Cage for me, and also Blue Marvel. I mean, I'd love to see that character as well.
Yes, I don't know that Blue Marvel is going to turn things over. If
Blue Marvel
makes an appearance in Wakanda 3, that would be dope. But
very few people know who Blue Marvel
exactly.
is.
He's
enough
not big
to
enough.
Be
wait.
A thing.
Well, but they have their toys already out for Blue Marvel, so I mean, I think he's coming.
No, I get you. They got toys. Blue Marvel's been around for a minute, and I love the character. I hope fingers are crossed, eyes are crossed, toes are crossed, that they capitalize on the Marvels to introduce Blue Marvel. That would be amazing. Right. That would be amazing if they just, if they don't, that's one of those, man, y'all could have done that.
Easter egg. You know, hey,
what were you trying to say, Mo?
You know?
Say it again.
You were trying to say something.
I'm saying we didn't know who the Guardians were in a general society sense. So not knowing who Blue Marvel is not an insurmountable obstacle.
No, sure.
No. What I'm saying, as far as the Blue Marvel story, I don't know if even from the comic story, and of course they could create something to make it happen. Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, even the iteration that we saw has already had a long comic run before they did the film. So I'm saying Blue Marvel as a character, and they could generate their own story around. I'm just trying to think of a character that has a solid enough story in existence that if you were to say, hey, we're going to take advantage of this character's story, this would be dope. You know, I know they're working on supposedly a Nova project, and they said, now we're going to put that on Disney Plus. They were working on Wonder Man as a film. They said, now we're going to do that, you know, Disney Plus. You know, Armor Wars was going to be on Disney Plus. They said, there's a lot in it. Let's make it a film. But is there another character that they could introduce that has a solid enough story that deserves their own film, outside of saying, you know, let's do something based on an X character that this dude over here. Oh shit, right.
I mean, listen,
Eddie Rand, baby, Iron Fist.
Can we please work out the shit with Universal so we can get a real Hulk film?
No, it won't happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
Damn.
No. And you know what's crazy is we're not even really going to get a Namor movie. Namor will be included in other stuff, but Namor is caught up in the same Hulk shit. That's why we won't get a Namor film. Yeah.
Universal owns those rights.
I think the problem though right now is Marvel isn't taking any big risks with eliminating characters. You know, we had the opportunity to trap Hope and Scott in the quantum realm, and they didn't. You know, hopefully with Guardians, you know, we'll probably get a couple characters offed, and that, you know, now you're creating the drama and the sympathy and bringing those feelings out of what you remember with these characters, and that as of right now, they're just not doing it.
Well, James Wright brings up a pretty obvious one. The X-Men coming into the MCU would be major.
Yeah, I agree.
So will the Fantastic Four if done right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but that's a bigger if to me. I'm a person who has been a fan of the Fantastic Four, but I have never thought. I mean, first of all, going back to the comics, the age difference between Reed and Sue is very problematic.
They'll shorten that gap.
I'm sure they're going to shorten that gap, but. I have never just been like, oh my gosh, the Fantastic Four just bomb. Now, X-Men, you get the X-Men in play. That is something that could really be transformative. I don't know how the X-Men would fit in this phase, though.
I mean, you can't put the X-Men in this phase, and you cannot put the X-Men in the MCU as an existing team. If you want to introduce mutants here and there, and then something happens that turns the planet against naturally powered people, and then they've got to come together and they join a team to protect each other and to stick together, fine. But there are way too many X-Men stories that have the potential for them to fuck up. The X-Men have so many different things that happen within that comic storyline. Which story are you starting with? Which story makes the most sense for the existing MCU? There's not a lot of existing stories that fit.
But we're making an assumption. I know that we're making the assumption here that it's an X-Men thing, but mutants are already in the MCU as of now.
Yes,
we have. We already have. I know that Miss Marvel is finally coming to on film, but we have Miss Marvel, who's going to be nice and center.
And Namor.
Yeah,
I mean, Namor. I mean, look, I'm not saying that they haven't already introduced mutants. What I'm saying is when it comes to the X-Men, and I understand why they want to take time and introduce them. The reason that they started introducing characters in the story or in the MCU that are actual mutants, from Ursa Major to Mystery Mortal, all these characters that are actually mutants. What's his name in She-Hulk? The dude who the Taurus was fighting, El Aguilar, he's a mutant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters that they've subtly introduced that's like, yo, if you know these characters, you know they're mutants. They're not making a big deal of it. And I think that the reason they're going to take their time with the X-Men is because
we've had so many
there are so many stories that you would automatically say, oh, we should tell this story. Ooh, if you call it anything that's, you call it Days of Future Past, you call it, Sinister War, you call it any of these stories, and I promise you, nerd kind will lose their mind if the MCU fucks up a mutant story. Too many of their stories are too crucial to comic storytelling. You can't tell Age of Apocalypse, you can't tell Onslaught, you can't tell the Mutant Massacre story. There's so many stories that you probably could. You probably could do the Mutant Massacre, and that would form the X-Men. If you do that, where the government or a side organization comes together and starts hunting down mutants. If you have a story of the coming of the Sentinels,
we do have something of a little bit, because we see them hunting them down when it came to. I know that it's not the same, but I'm saying that the notion of that happens in Spider-Man, it happens a bit in Miss Marvel.
Oh, the damage control,
the damage control kind of a thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think we're going to see this coming. That theme, drawing the line coming in, but and it's probably going to be more I imagine that it's probably going to be more in the series aspect, because most of the stuff that's coming out this year is series, and very few films are dropping this year for MCU.
Well, we have Deadpool coming, and Deadpool is going to have Wolverine in it, so
and Deadpool's in the MCU. We got that.
That's what I'm saying. Deadpool 3 is in the MCU.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are going to get, well, Wolverine is certainly a marquee character. There's no way to say that Wolverine would not be major. And so,
with it being with Hugh Jackman.
And
hell, Deadpool is a major character. Adding him to the MCU, that's pretty big.
And a super profitable character. And that's the right blend of Marvel humor and Marvel action. Deadpool has gotten it right both times.
Yeah.
So, that I think is exciting. I just don't, outside of the X-Men, I mean, I think Blue Marvel would be very cool. I think there's a challenge that, owing to Blue Marvel's origins as being a hidden character and the government didn't want people to know he's black, I think there'd probably be some anti-woke bullshit. Some sand being pulled up on that. I don't know if anybody cares about Sentry enough, although Sentry is a super powerful character. Running through it seems like Marvel has done a pretty good job of, most things except Iron Fist. And so, there are some other characters. There's obviously a ton of characters in the MCU to explore. And if you were to pick something along the lines of like a Guardians, which is a relatively unknown property, I'm sure there's some things that you could, pull a James Gunny sort of thing on.
Oh, wait, you know what? James Wright, you're right. Ghost Rider would be dope. I totally forgot about something like Ghost Rider.
Honestly, there's so many new different character stories that are coming out this year. that in the Disney Plus series, that I don't really see too much. I guess I have low expectations for the film until, see me at the movies next year when we get Captain America. Because I
So
think
you're not excited for either the Marvels or
I'm
Guardians
gonna
3?
be there.
Or
Guardians 3, I really don't care that much about.
I
But I
mean,
am gonna be
I'm
there
watch
for
it all,
Marvels.
so.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it,
Yeah,
of course.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm
I was just curious.
I'm
what
not
you said.
heavily anticipating.
Mhm.
But one thing, the reason why I'm really heavily anticipating Captain America is because Winter Soldier was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series
great.
was amazing.
Yes.
And so I'm ready to get back to the Captain America feel, the Black Widow feel, like some actually action that makes them,
Thunderbolts.
Marvel.
Still got the Thunderbolts to come out.
Yeah, no, but I don't. Is that coming out this year? I don't think.
That's next year.
that is.
Next year, I think.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts ends the next go round. The next phase ends with or this current phase ends with Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Phase 5 ends with Thunderbolts.
No, I said yeah, I believe it goes Thunderbolts, and then right after that, the last thing is Daredevil.
Rebirth.
Before you go into the next round of films, where the Kang's films come in. So there's this cycle, and then so phase 5 ends with Thunderbolts, and then phase 6 ends with Secret Wars. Yeah.
Totally forgot about Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Oh, Secret Invasion.
Yeah, that's going to be a good series.
That's going to be
It better be.
And that's what I'm saying. All of these are series. There's only 2 more movies, and the rest of the stuff that's coming out this year is a series.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I'm liking the series, though.
Yeah.
I mean, once a week for 45 minutes, we get a show.
Well, She-Hulk was like 15, but
that's true.
What else are y'all seeing out there besides anything in the film? What are y'all watching on TV at the house? What you checking out, Ryan?
I'm not going to talk about what I've been watching. I'm going to talk about what I've been playing. And I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy. It is a prequel to Harry Potter. Bear in mind, I've not watched one Harry Potter movie, but it takes place 100 years. Fuck yeah, I've never seen that shit. It takes place 100 years prior to Harry Potter, and it is fucking amazing. I love it so much. You can customize. You make your own character. You can make your own wand. I mean, you can customize that shit. My wand is 14.5 inches long, baby.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not saying.
Are you compensating?
He's saying fantasy projection.
Nah, ain't no fantasy, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So
it's a good game.
So this is a prequel. Is it
Hogwarts?
anything to do with Harry Potter, or is it all before his family, before anything?
It's like 100 years before the events of Harry Potter. It is great. It's apparently it's like knee deep in lore. I couldn't tell you anything about the lore. Like I said, I ain't seen any of that shit. But the game is fun. It is so much fun. And might I add, my wand is 14.5 inches long.
Okay. All right.
So you've said again.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You put it in your palm, you think your hand shrank, Tom.
Okay. All right, Anthony, what are you watching? Anthony, please. Anthony, what are you watching?
Your mother is watching.
Sorry, mom.
Wingardium Leviosa.
You know, I'm gonna got the long
Revelio.
weekend. I'm gonna binge from episodes 3 to whatever for The Last of Us this weekend.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I caught 1 and 2, so like I'd be happy on that one at least. I said I was gonna wait a little bit longer, so I got 1 and 2. Like I said, never played the game, so it's like a Halo for me. I have no idea. I'm not invested, so I'm just going with the flow. And so far, like I got a lot of questions. Like, how the fuck, like, do you only become a zombie if you're bitten?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean that's kind of like a hard way to
different from the
transmit
game.
something. If you only get it by being bitten, you know, if it was airborne, I'd buy that a lot more. But you know,
Well, these infected they're more like World War Z zombies. So they're very active and their imperative is to spread it. So it's not as far-fetched as it might be, because if they were slow-moving zombies, yes. But in this, the fungus is driving you to spread, not driving you to eat. It's driving you to spread.
All right,
And
to go on a quick tangent, World War Z movie was trash. The book was trash.
You're wrong.
The book had so many better short stories in it than that stupid ass movie.
Wrong.
Trash.
Wrong.
Beyond being wrong, what are you watching, Mo?
Same as last week. I'm still watching and loving Your Honor with Bryan Cranston. I'm still watching my I will say my heritage TV shows of Chicago PD, Law and Order SVU.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really new at this point. I'm just trying to catch up on all the stuff that I usually watch. And BattleBots. Love
BattleBots.
Oh, that's
No
good one.
doubt. What's on your TV, Tom?
I finished Chernobyl finally.
Wow.
I hadn't ever watched it, and I didn't know it was only 5 episodes, and so I started it. I didn't know it was a British production. I really thought that, in retrospect, it makes sense that the Russians would have nothing to do with doing a series about their most embarrassing thing. But I really enjoyed it, and it answered the question of how it happened, because in episode 1, it's like it's impossible for a nuclear reactor to explode. And then by the time you get to episode 5, he literally lays out everything that's like, wow, this really could have been super duper fucked up and horrible. And so I'm glad that the institutional will was there to make sure that what could have happened in the aftermath did not happen, but the human cost of shielding the rest of the world from the ultimate fallout of what could have been a truly monumental disaster with Chernobyl was staggering. And the fact that the Soviet official state death toll is 31 is just absolutely
Jesus,
bonkers.
really?
31 is the only thing they're copping to. They're not saying radiation exposure, the spike in cancers, all of the people who died on the bridge of death, the out of the 700,000 people they conscripted for the cleanup, how many of them, it's just 31 they're saying. And it's
Tom,
basically
the possibility's still there.
Huh?
It's still there for it to go.
Oh, yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Hey, if you ever want to ruin your day, maybe even your week, Google Chernobyl animals.
Oh,
if you're an animal lover, I promise you it will ruin every single thing that you're thinking about. Anything you will need to go and hug a bag of bunnies and bunnies. I mean, just roll around in a bag of fun, cuddly bunnies. I'm just saying because I accidentally Googled Chernobyl and that's all something. The animals of Chernobyl. I said, what is that? And I Googled that, and the thing that I saw, the animals that are still out there, fuck, man. I mean, Jesus, man. The absolute worst fucking thing ever.
I wonder if there's any bears out there and pigs.
Yeah, high on cocaine.
Hey, speaking of bears high on cocaine, Elizabeth Banks, who directed Cocaine Bear, she said that the studio is Cocaine Shark. She's like, I will do Cocaine Shark under 2 conditions. Yo, the idea of a shark on cocaine.
That's Sharknado.
No, but I'm saying in a sense where this could spin into like this whole series of movies.
Animals
high on cocaine?
Yeah, Cocaineverse.
Yes.
A Cocaineverse?
Sure. Let's do a Cocaineverse.
Okay, sure.
And it could actually, Scarface can be resurrected through irradiated cocaine, and then he gives the cocaine to the rest of the animals. So he's cocaine. Well, there was here's all
right.
What was the name of the villain in the Marvel comic book universe whose power was that he got power from cocaine?
What?
I don't
There was
know.
a villain in the Marvel universe who
Man, you have to Google that one.
I don't know about all that.
Remember that. That must have been in Marvel's wild heyday when they were fancy free.
It must have been taking place during the 70s.
Well, it was the 80s, but Snowflame.
Snowflame.
Oh, it's a DC guy. Sorry, I thought he was Marvel. He's a DC guy.
And that makes more sense.
That makes more sense because of what happened to Connor and how he got high on cocaine and heroin and shit. Saving the best for last. Dr. Liz, what is on Apple Plus, baby?
First of all, I know Will just stepped away, but I am still joining all of the people on Twitter and calling for the SVU. Does anybody else watch Law and Order SVU?
Mm-mm.
Anyway,
Kinda.
they need to get together. If they don't get together, the two, they don't get
Stabler
Elliot.
and Benson?
Yes. Like,
Oh, I've been
and we
seeing
finally get
folks are like,
together.
yes,
Wait,
okay.
they're together now?
Oh my gosh, they got so close.
Oh Lord,
They got so
Jesus.
close. Anyway,
That's how they
okay.
get you for 35 seasons.
Yeah, no shit.
Pretty much.
Right?
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna
Any
happen.
minute
Cocaine
now.
Stabler.
Okay, so actually, what is happening is there are one film. Yes, he did get his star Walk of Fame. Ice-T got his star on the Walk of Fame. By
Yep.
the way, he did. There was a question about, since I'm watching everything on Apple TV, I am not watching Major League Soccer. That is not my thing. So I'm going to be missing that one. But there's 3 things that are actually on Apple TV Plus. Make or Break. It's a documentary on surfing. And I watched it a while ago, and now they have a new season. And it is so good. I mean, it is. I've learned so much about surfing that I had no idea about. And highly anticipating that. But there's a new movie, Sharper, and which is a thriller with Julianne Moore and Sebastian Stan. First of all, it is a star-stellar cast in that one. So, heavily looking forward to that one. And then finally, Hello Tomorrow, which is like a 30-minute shows, which is kind of like a salesman who sells timeshares on the moon.
Okay.
Honestly, it's so worth your $4.99.
Look, oh God, I can't take on another series or another thing. Even though when I bought my ticket for Creed 3, they offered me a free trial subscription to Apple TV Plus. So I'm like, no, leave me alone. But look, I might. I did get my tickets for Creed 3. I got my tickets for Shazam out of curiosity. I'm curious to see what happens. I'm not looking forward to it, but whatever. I am currently excited because My Hero Academia is going places I never thought that they would go. This is one of the most awe-inspiring anime series that's out there. New episode drops tonight. One Piece last week was absolute fire. One Piece, it's turned a corner. The animation, the story is going there. And then Trigun is very, very different from the original Trigun anime series. This new digital series, it's a lot sadder. It's a lot sadder. The world that they're building is very, very depressing. It makes you just say, like, man, fuck the future, man. Fuck the moon. Fuck everything. I don't know. It's just all bad. So I'm about to get my anime fix on tonight. Mo, where'd you go? Did Mo go get something else to eat?
He said
he wants to go get some cocaine.
He said he was hungry. I just got my Creed ticket.
Let me go get my Creed ticket.
Get the Creed to what, Liz? What are you doing?
Look, and I'm going
Liz,
every day. The second, the third, the fourth.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Look, I had my alert set for Jonathan because I didn't want that shit to sell
14-inch
out.
wand, apparently.
Look, Jonathan Majors. Let's not sleep with Jonathan Majors has done in the last 4 movies. They are so vastly different. He is playing 4 vastly different characters.
I mean, but think about it. The from the Five Bloods to Lovecraft to the Netflix one, Harder They Fall, to the airplane movie.
Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Last Black Man in San Francisco. Devotion
was
this dude
had me balling.
Range.
He's Denzeling all over the place, right?
All over the place.
He was in Hamlet. I mean, he was in Macbeth.
Yeah, Macbeth.
See,
playing Macdoof, and when
you know
he did
crazy?
that, when he played on the side of him and Denzel were playing next to each other, and he killed Denzel. It was the perfect scene.
Yeah, spoiler alert. That play has only been out for like 6 centuries, but spoilers.
Stop telling spoilers.
This dude, when I read what inspired him to get into acting, one, I felt hella old. But what inspired him to get into acting and where he draws his inspiration, when he was 18 years old, he went to go and see The Dark Knight, and Heath Ledger's performance of
Jonathan
the Joker was
God
the thing that got him into acting. And when I read that, I said, how the fuck old am I? If he was 18 when he saw The Dark Knight and that inspired him to go acting, my mind was like, what am I doing right now? Okay.
I know, right? You didn't need to tell us that. But
really
I mean, his range is terrific. I mean, this man is good. So I cannot wait to see him.
Very dope. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to connecting with you all next week. I guess we'll have to say goodbye for Mo, but Anthony, good sir, take us out.
Drink the ooze. That shit was creepy when she said it too. Fucking blood on her. Oh,
drink the ooze. McBain.
14.5 inches.
Jesus Christ.
Lord have mercy.
I got the magic stick. I know if I can hit once, I can hit twice. I hit the baddest chicks.
Okay. Tom, please save me. Tom, save me.
Where is my immortus suit?
Yeah, man. Dr. Liz.
Don't be a dick.
Thank you. He doesn't know how not to be a dick.
Excelsior!
My God.